Hey space fans, welcome back to What Happened in Spaceflight this week. The show that's as reliable as Falcon 9 landings, which is a lot more than we can say for this week's launch schedule because, wow, a bunch of rockets got delayed thanks to the weather and scheduling conflicts. Basically, space said, yeah, not happening, no thanks. But don't worry, a few brave boosters still made it off the pad. Before we get into the ones that did fly, a bunch of missions got pushed back this week. Mostly due to bad weather, range conflicts, or just bigger rockets taking priority. It's kinda like when you're trying to microwave your dinner, but someone else is using it for popcorn. Spaceports are the same, just louder, more expensive, and a little more fire. Falcon 9 Starlink Group 10-59. First up, SpaceX kicked things off on October 7th with Starlink Group 10-59, lifting off from Cape Canaveral at 7:49 BST. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another Starlink? Yes, another one. By this point, Starlink launches are basically the background music of spaceflight. They just happen, like breathing, or my impulse to buy space merch I don't really need. This mission carried more of those shiny V2 mini satellites, the ones with faster internet speeds and better laser links. You know, for all those who complain about Netflix buffering for half a second. And of course, the Falcon 9 booster returned safely to the drone ship. Another textbook landing. At this point, it's less will it land and more which drone ship's turn is it this week. Falcon 9 Starlink Group 11-17. Just over a day later, another Falcon 9 said, hold my liquid oxygen, and launched Starlink Group 11-17 from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California on October 8th at 4:54 BST. Same deal. More V2 minis, more internet, more proof that SpaceX's warehouse for boosters is getting a workout of its life. And yes, another flawless landing. Honestly, Falcon 9's landings are so consistent they should start adding style points. Backflips, maybe a bow, something to keep us guessing. Fun fact, some of these boosters have flown more than 20 times now. That's more trips than I've managed to get to the gym in the last 5 years, which really says something. Blue Origin New Shepard NS-36 crewed. Now let's talk about something that's got people generally excited. Blue Origin's New Shepard NS-36, which launched on October 8th at 11:44 BST. And yes, this one carried humans. That's right, New Shepard made its return to crew flights after launching some payloads into space last time. A lucky few passengers got to take the ride of their life, blasting past the Kármán line, floating around in 0G and coming back down before lunch. They were up there for about 10 minutes total, or as it's known in YouTube time, about one ad break and a half. The capsule touched down softly in the Texas desert, the booster sticking its landing beautifully, and somewhere Jeff Bezos probably whispering, good rocket. So congrats to the crew of NS-36. They officially joined the I went to space and all I got was a lousy gravity hangover club. Gravity 1. Over in China, the Gravity 1 rocket lifted off on October 11th at 3:20 BST. And this one's cool because it launched from a sea platform. Yep, China's going full SpaceX mode with ocean-based launches because who needs a launch pad when you've got a giant floating barge? Gravity 1 carried a few small commercial satellites, adding to China's fast-growing constellation network, and everything went off smoothly, which is always good news when you're launching from something that literally floats. Fun fact, sea rockets reduce overflight risks and more flexible in different orbits. Plus, it looks epic on camera. Like seriously, if James Bond launched a rocket, it would look like this. Now, let's look ahead because next week's schedule is packed, assuming the weather behaves. Here's what's on the launch pad. SpaceX Falcon 9, Project Kuiper, Amazon's internet constellation. So yeah, Bezos versus Musk in orbit again. SpaceX, Starship Flight 11, the last of the V2 starships before the next generation upgrades. Bigger engines, bigger booms, potentially. Falcon 9, Starlink 10-52. Rocket Lab, Electron, Our New World. Seriously, Rocket Lab keeps winning the award for best mission names. Falcon 9, Trance 1, a government communicational satellite. CASC, Long March Unknown Payload, because China loves to keep us guessing. Falcon 9, Starlink Group 10-17. Falcon 9, Starlink 11-19. That's 8 rockets on the deck, most of them Falcons, because at this point SpaceX basically runs the entire sky. This is going to be a fun week, and yes, I'll be here breaking it down, hopefully with fewer delays and a Starship launch that doesn't end in a RUD, or as SpaceX calls it, a rapid unscheduled disassembly. And that wraps up this week in spaceflight. A couple of solid Falcon 9s, Blue Origin bringing humans back to space, and China flexing its sea launch muscles. It's been a chaotic but exciting week, and next week looks even better. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which of the upcoming launches you're most hyped for. Personally, I'm counting down to Starship Flight 11, the last of the V2s before the next generation begins. Until then, clear skies, loud engines, and hopefully fewer weather scrubs. I'll see you next week, right here on What Happened in Spaceflight this week.